I'm going to stress again to you exactly what I said in my last video on this topic. This is the St. Peter's basketball team is the single best story that we have seen in New York, New Jersey sports in a very, very long time. Just take a look at this. Front page, back page, everywhere. It's all St. Peter's. All right, everybody, welcome aboard here. Sports Talk Nation, Michael Cohen here with you, and unbelievable. Another incredible night of basketball as St. Peter's just keeps it going. They just keep it going. Another victory as they win, another shocking victory, 67-64 over Purdue. As I said in my last video, at this point, and look, they've been playing with house money. They've been playing with house money since this thing started. But now you're really playing with house money. St. Peter's going to the Elite Eight after that victory, and they're going to go up against North Carolina. Obviously, it's going to be a very difficult opponent. I mean, North Carolina is one of the hottest teams in the country. They've won 9 out of 10. I know St. Peter's has now won 10 in a row. It's hard to imagine that this little team from Jersey City can win. But, hey, look, they have defied the odds up to this point to beat the second-ranked Kentucky team that a lot of people thought could win a championship this year, beat a Murray State team that had won 21 in a row, and then to beat a team in Purdue that earlier this year was ranked number 1 in the country. And think about this: if you are Purdue, the two worst losses that they have suffered this year for Purdue came against two New Jersey teams. They lost to Rutgers on December 9th, the Ron Harper game-winning shot, as that knocked Purdue out of the number 1 spot in the nation. And then last night, Jersey just finds a way to beat Purdue, I guess. Now, this game, both of these teams were hot and they were cold, and a lot of cold stretches. And really, neither team shot particularly well, and that really obviously played into the favor of a team like St. Peter's because Purdue did have a big size advantage. It was weird that, for whatever reason, and I truly didn't understand this from the coaching standpoint from Purdue, why Zach Edey only played 17 minutes. The guy is 7'4". He only played 17 minutes. And when he had a great impact, it was in the first half of that game. I mean, was he injured? I'm not even sure. But, when he did play, he had an impact inside the paint, especially underneath the basket. He was impossible to guard. Only played 17 minutes, 11 points. And on top of that, as I said, neither team shot particularly well. And for a long stretch in this game, as you're sitting there watching this, and you're seeing St. Peter's take 1 3 after another, and they're missing shots, and they're falling behind. Sometimes by 5, 6 points, you start to think, here we go. Any minute now, Purdue's going to get away with this. But no, because Purdue couldn't shoot at all. I mean, St. Peter's played great defense, especially around the perimeter. They were forcing a lot of shots, forcing a lot of uncomfortable shots. Of course, a lot of really good guard play. And St. Peter's, look, they don't have a true center. They have 3 forwards out there on the court, in Rupert and in Nadifo, who was in foul trouble all night. Fouled out of the game. They don't have any real size advantage against any opponent for that matter. Their tallest guy is Drama, who's 6'10". That's it. But just superior guard play and really good defense, and they forced a lot of bad shots by Purdue throughout the course of this game. And to me, the turning point, if you have to ask me what was the turning point of the game, and it happened around the 4-minute mark when Doug Eddert was fouled, and he was attempting a 3-point shot and drew the foul. And it was the same thing that happened to him last week. He goes to the line with a chance to hit 3 free throws and hits all 3 of them. And that, to me, was the turning point of the game because it brought St. Peter's to within only 3 points. And at that point, they were only, or 1 point rather, it only down 56-55. And now you're starting to think, these guys could pull this thing out. And then, of course, Purdue goes completely cold offensively. They can't hit a shot. Again, great defense by the Peacocks. And then you have Darryl Banks III, who just hits big shots. I mean, the spin-around jumper ties the game at 57. Another turnover by Purdue. And then Darryl Banks hits another shot, and it gives St. Peter's the lead at 59-57. And at that point, with 2 minutes to go in this game, now you're really thinking, well, yes, St. Peter's is actually going to have a chance to pull this out. Of course, Purdue, again, can't hit a shot. Can't hit any shot for their life. Trevon Williams had a terrible finish to this game as he was missing one shot after another. And St. Peter's very aggressive on the boards. They got their rebounds. They got to the foul line, and they were perfect from the foul line down the stretch of this game as they find a way to pull away and win this game. And You really weren't satisfied. I wasn't satisfied until the final buzzer sounded. The desperation three-point attempt there at the end of the game by Purdue, by Jaden Ivey, who had a terrible game shooting, 4 out of 12 shooting in this game. And St. Peter's wins the basketball game by a score of 67-64. It was incredible. It really is, as I said, it is the single best story that we have seen here in New York and New Jersey sports in a very, very long time. And yeah, Rutgers dominated the regular season as far as college basketball in New Jersey is concerned, with all the great headlines, all the record-breaker moments they had during their regular season, winning 12 Big Ten games. This team, St. Peter's, that came out of nowhere, gets into the tournament, just finds ways not only to bust brackets in the first game against Kentucky, but has gone on this incredible run that has taken them to the precipice of a Final Four. They're now in the lead against North Carolina. And as I said, it's going to be very difficult for them against North Carolina. But at this point, who cares? Just enjoy this, because that's all that matters. I said this in my last video. At this point, it doesn't matter whether they win or they lose. Would it be awesome if St. Peter's can pull this out and find a way to beat North Carolina and maybe even beat Duke, for that matter, in the Final Four? Yeah, it'd be crazy. But is it likely to happen? Probably not. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy this moment, because they are giving everybody one of the greatest rides we have seen in a very, very long time. It was funny because in New Jersey, there was a poll that came out. And I was kind of going into the political realm, that said that 52% of people who live in New Jersey are dissatisfied with the state and want to move out and hate being in New Jersey. When you have these kind of moments, kind of puts this state on the map in a different kind of light, for that matter. And it kind of puts an inner city like Jersey City, Hudson County, a very tight-knit community in a spotlight. It's nice to see. And we haven't seen a lot of good sports moments, as I've said before. I mean, you want to go back, I think probably the last time we had a really, really good sports moment, you got to go back to what? The Giants Super Bowl win back in 2011. I mean, it's been that long, folks. It's been that long. We've had a lot of losing this town. And to have this team, this little engine that could go on this kind of run and be this kind of story and take over not just the local headlines, but the national headlines, and just give that entire community something to latch onto, and to give people in the state of New Jersey and New York City, for that matter, something to latch onto and to be excited about. There's nothing else. There's no words to describe it. Enjoy the ride. And even if St. Peter's loses, they still won, because they put together a story that is going to be remembered for a very, very long time. They win. I don't care. It doesn't matter what happens the rest of the way. We'll see how this goes. Can the St. Peter's Peacocks keep it going? We'll find out tomorrow night. We'll talk to you next time.